So now we're going to be looking at brand story. So crafting a brand story, putting your personal passion into the professional narrative that we're looking. So our brand story, it's a really powerful tool that can set us apart in the personal training industry because it's not just about what we do, but also why we do it and how our journey has shaped our business. Now, a really commonly used axiom in the online and personal coaching space is that people don't buy coaching, they buy coaches. And that is 100% true. So we need to make sure we nail this. And our brand story often intertwines with our personal story. It reflects our passion, our purpose, and the experiences that we have that drive our commitment to helping other people. So it's our narrative. It encompasses our history, our mission, vision, and the values of what we have for our brand. It tells a story of how it all came to be and what it stands for, and the sole goal of creating an emotional connection with our audience. Okay. Uh, it's to communicate the essence of your brand in a compelling, relatable way, build trust and loyalty by sharing your journey and the reasons behind that, and to differentiate your brand from competitors. There is only one you, and for most of us having a personal brand, there is only one of us in the brand as well. So it's really, really important. So we need to, make sure we nail this. So we put our personal story into our brand, includes our journey to fitness, our personal struggles, whatever it is. And it matters because it shares a level of authenticity. It makes us more relatable and genuine. So if you're someone who has, gone from you've lost X amount of weight, for example, and you're really shy getting in the gym and you're really weak, for example, and then you got strong and you felt empowered, then you want to help people, that's a really cool story to share. If you're someone who is, always picked last for sports and you got into fitness because of that, that's a really cool story to share because lots of people, despite everyone being different, our stories are fairly similar across the board. So people will see that and they resonate with that. And it's really, really helpful. And it reflects our why, our deep-seated reason for pursuing a career in PT, really motivational for our clients and helps create some form of emotional connection because the audience sees that they've shared a similar challenge to you. And since that you've overcome it, potentially you can help them overcome it as well. So a couple of options they can have. Origin, show how you got started, what inspired you to enter the field, what personal challenges led there, any obstacles you've overcome. Okay, health, professional setbacks, significant life changes, transformation, how they've shaped your approach to training, how they've developed you create a unique perspective of methodology, and then also your vision and goals of the business. Like, what do you want to achieve out of this? Because people want to be taken on a journey with someone. They want to be taken to the next level. They want to move up. It's a natural human trait to want to get better in some ways. So if someone's working with someone who's been through a similar challenge in them, this resonates really well. Okay. So when you craft your brand narrative, be authentic. Like, don't make up stuff. Okay. Don't embellish it. Don't lie is really, because once you get found out, it looks really bad. Highlight some key moments. So, for example, one of my key moments in my brand journey, I guess, was becoming trainer of the year. It was a really cool key moment for me because, I went into it not really knowing what to do, and then 2 years later, I'm national trainer of the year. So it's a really nice key moment to show that and tell your story to address the interests and values of your target audience. So, if I was going to do that for me, addressing, getting more students into the program, I'd be talking about like how that led to a higher degree of financial success, how created career stability for me, how it led to clients coming for me, and the actual steps that I took to do that, to actually achieve that goal and get that reward. And that's going to be very, very motivating for that audience. Okay. Now, where you put it on your about page through your social media channels. So generally we recommend, and we go through this in the course, one of your pinned posts on Instagram needs to be your story. Okay. Uh, we call it either your relatability story or your aspirational story. So if you've done something really cool, that may be the most important thing to have in your post. So let's just say you've trained a IFBB Olympian bodybuilding Olympia champion, probably should be the most important thing rather than your story. But for most cases, it's going to be your personal story. Putting it into your marketing materials is really, really useful, and also your client interactions. Okay, it's really can be used all the time in this. Okay, I use that in sales all the time, and it can evolve over time as your business evolves. Your brand story, you can put more stories in. Generally, every 6 months, people update their brand story. Okay, with hey, it's time to reintroduce myself. That's the type of post that we do, and you can include stories of client successes into this brand story. So one brand story I use all the time, which kind of led me down the corrective exercise rehabilitation pathway, was my first ever client broke their ankle. Okay, so the first training session I ever did, I set up the gym. I set up all the equipment I needed in the gym. I set up the area. I was using the Pilates studio at the time. I planned the workout. I met the client. I went through their form. I read it probably about 100 times. I was super prepared, and she literally broke her ankle stepping off an aerobic step like that high, right? And that feeling that night where I felt like maybe I'm not meant to do this, maybe I can't do this, I don't know enough, could was one of the catalysts for me really diving into corrective exercise and rehab and making sure that I could help people get out of pain if that ever happened. Okay, and that story there of that client leading to that, that was really really useful. Another client success story was working with this lady who was really overweight, really high blood pressure, type 2 diabetic, all these particular issues, horrible back pain, 3 bulging discs. After a year working together, she was deadlifting 100 kilos for reps. She had lost 50 kilos in body weight and was diabetic 3, not diabetic anymore, no cholesterol or blood pressure meds anymore. And that's what led me to winning Trainer of the Year. So that success story shows that I'm able to work with clients with multiple different issues. And by doing that, it led to great career success. And a couple of things though is you still need to be a little bit professional in this and have a good balance between professionals and personalization. Send me your brand stories for analysis, and I'll be able to tell you if it is too professional or too personalized. There is an aspect to it, and it will depend on your niche. You don't want to totally pour your soul out and your guts in this, but you also don't want to be totally stoic the whole time and ignore things that you've gone through. And then reflect your why. So at the end of your brand story, your why is the core of it. So why you want to do this. If you include that, it is motivational and aspirational for clients to follow along with that. So you go to with this course is to with this module, is to actually start writing out your brand story and put it as one of your Instagram pin posts. Go to the Instagram pin post module where it will go over the exact details of what you need to have to make it happen.